What's up guys, welcome to today's video. Hope everybody's well. Today's video is going to be discussing about training twice a day. What is it all about? Is it suitable for you? Is it going to be more beneficial for building muscle, or is it a complete waste of time? Now what I mean by training twice a day is where you have 2 sessions in one day where you're lifting weights, all right? I'm not talking about doing like cardio for one of the sessions and then doing the weights in another session. No, this is 2 sessions a day where you're lifting weights and you're doing it on a regular basis throughout the week, okay? I have done this once before, many years ago back when I had my own gym, and it's something which I'm doing now. I've just started doing it recently. The main reason because I'm stuck in my apartment right now, I can't leave, I'm not even allowed to go outside to do exercise. So I'm spending a large percentage of my day just sat on my arse with not much to do. I mean, I'm working, but I've got a lot more free time. Realistically speaking, this is not gonna be suitable for a lot of people out there, okay? Those people who can kind of get away with doing something like this is either those people who have a hell of a lot of free time on their hands, or those people who are like literally getting paid to do this, or it's their job, okay? Bodybuilders. All they have to worry about is focusing on building their body. The rest of the time, they can just relax, they can chill, they can sleep, they can eat, and they can just rest and recover and work on their own schedule. It's not gonna be suitable for someone who has a pretty hectic lifestyle. You know, they've got a family to look after, they're working a 9-to-5 job, or maybe even working longer hours than that. They're not getting that much sleep. Trying to train twice a day is gonna be pretty demanding, okay? And there's no doubt it's going to completely wear them out. So it's not going to be suitable for them. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys my plan and what I put together for myself for this training twice a day regime. Okay, so I'm going to put it up on the screen for you to see. Now, as you can see, it's a 6-day split. The reason behind that is that just kind of allows me to hit everything I need to hit, and then I rotate. Once I've done that 6th day, it's back to day 1 again. My shoulders and my back are my focus points. They're the areas I want to grow the most. So I'm doing them, as you can see, twice in this 6-day split. Now, after 2 days of training back to back, I'm going to be pretty destroyed, all right? With the intensity which I train at, the weights which I'm lifting, I'm going to be gassed. I'm being realistic with myself. As much as I would like to train twice a day, every single day, I know it's not going to happen. I'm going to feel like absolute turd. And on that 3rd day, if I tried to train, it would be a very mediocre session. So I devote that 3rd day to recovery. I'll do a bit of calves if I've got a bit of energy in the tank, which I'm sure I will be able to do. That'll be like a 15-20 minute session. And then I will do some light cardio. And you might be asking, Mike, why have you only got chest once, and why have you combined that with another muscle group? And that is because my chest it's a strength of mine, and it really does not need much volume at all in order to make it grow. Now what I've noticed from trying to stick to this schedule so far is there's some days where I just can't stick to it, right? And it's not out of laziness, it's out of the fact that I'm actually just completely shattered. Like I'll wake up sometimes after a day where I've been training twice, I feel like I've been hit by a train, like my body's completely sore, I'm fatigued. Like I've been training for 12 years, I know when I'm overtrained. And sometimes I just have to listen to my body. Like if I've got 2 training sessions scheduled, I'm like, nah, realistically it's not happening. Like I need to rest. Maybe I can push for 1 session today, but 2 is out of the question. I've also noticed that the 2nd session is a little bit more challenging than the 1st session, okay? I will do the 1st session a couple of hours after I've woken up, had some food, and like I'm in the zone. Like I've got my, not only physical energy, but I've got my mental energy as well, and that is a really good session. I do notice sometimes later on in the day, if I try and do that 2nd session, whether it be like 5, 6 or 7 o'clock, I feel a little bit more tired. The motivation to get that session done is a little bit lower, and I notice that just like overall mental focus isn't as good as the earlier session. So what I do is I schedule the more challenging sessions earlier on, and then the sessions which I genuinely sort of enjoy more, or I find a little bit easier to kind of smash through, I'll leave them to the evening. Something which you also need to take into account is your training intensity. So how hard are you pushing yourself in your sessions? How heavy are the weights which you are lifting? And how frequently are you pushing to failure on each working set, right? So if I was an individual who didn't push to failure on every single working set, then realistically you could get away with doing more sessions, training twice per day, without it really burning you out too much. However, if you are on the opposite end of the spectrum and you push to failure on every goddamn set and you train like an absolute beast with heavy weight, it's going to be more taxing on your body. It's going to be way more demanding, and the amount of recovery required is going to be much more compared to, let's say, for example, if you didn't push yourself. It's also probably not going to be a good idea if your goal is to gain weight and put on size, but you struggle to do so. You're a hard gainer. Let's say, for example, you need 4,000 calories to gain a bit of weight and you really struggle to eat that amount of food. If you then go and train for a 2nd time that means you're going to burn an extra 200, 300 or 400 calories. And then you're going to need to eat another 200, 300, 400 calories to enable you to gain weight. Now, a few people who know I'm doing this training twice per day thing, they ask me, well, okay, I know you're doing 2 sessions for 45 minutes. What is the advantage of doing those 2 sessions? Why don't you just do one big session for an hour and a half, for 90 minutes? Like, what is the advantage of splitting it up? If I did a normal workout, let's say for example, it's 1 hour, I noticed that for the first half of that session, or the first 2/3 of that session, my mental concentration and energy levels are at its highest, okay? As the session progresses, you get more fatigued naturally, and mental concentration starts to kind of wither away a bit. Now, if you were to do an hour and a half session for 90 minutes, that second half of the session isn't gonna be that great, right? You're gonna be physically fatigued, your mental concentration is gonna be elsewhere, and the quality of the reps, quality of the sets are gonna be mediocre, right? You just ultimately burning calories at that point. Now, if you split that up into 2, you do one 45-minute session. For the majority of that session, your energy levels and mental concentration is gonna be high. Then you're gonna rest, recover, get your nutrition back in again, and when you do the second session, your concentration levels and your energy levels are gonna be higher. Realistically speaking, this is not something you should do for a long period of time if you are gonna do it. Maybe like a month max before like backing off it. A lot of it really depends on recovery and so on, but even I've noticed myself, just like a week, 2 weeks of doing this, I'm pretty tired. And one thing which is quite noticeable as well is it's just very hard to give 110% in every single one of those sessions. Like usually that's something which I do. When I go and train, I like to train to failure, I like to push myself. And when you're trying to do it more often, it's just harder and harder to stick to. And I'd much prefer to do one session where I give 110%, all of my effort, instead of doing 2 sessions which are like 80% intensity, if you know what I mean. It's always quality over quantity. And when you get to that point where you're sacrificing quality just to do more sessions, that's when I'd ask myself, is it really worth it? So that is the video. Like I said before, it's absolutely not necessary. However, if you are going to give it a try, there's no harm in doing so. And if done properly, it can be beneficial, but you have to ensure that you are getting an adequate amount of recovery and your nutrition is on point as well in order to really see the results from this. So thank you very much for watching. Give it a like if you have enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.